That isn't the sound of explosive diarrhea, listeners. That is, in fact, me and Ali trying to replicate the sound effects for the Terminator clips. That sounds like a strafing run from a helicopter from a Vietnam movie. Well done, Ellie. Hello, everyone. It's the 2-Minute Terminator, where we break down the Terminator films 2 minutes at a time. We've had a short break, as yes, keep going. We're on episode 42, and we're working through the Terminator films every 2 minutes, and we're going to discuss those 2 minutes now. You hit the music.
Howdy, stranger.
Don't say howdy, stranger, to me.
Hi, I'm Chief Master Sergeant William Candy.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
And we're back. Hello, everyone. It's Ethan McKinley. I'm presenter of the 2-Minute Terminator. On the other line is...
Ellie Fitzgerald.
And remarkably, if you listen to my other podcast, you'll notice the sound on this is completely clear because we're using Viber and not Skype, which is a bit of...
Boycott Skype. Skype's balls.
The only problem with Skype, Ellie, is the fact the world uses it, so they only agree with that as a thing that everyone does.
But that's because Skype's now been around for, 15 years? Something like that?
Yeah, it has.
I reckon in the next 5-10 years, Viber will definitely be up
When
there.
I tried to get Graham Hancock to call in on Viber, I went, Graham, would you mind downloading this and on your laptop and give me a call? And he's like, I'll look into it. Just no one uses it. And it's clear as a bell.
I'll look at... No, you're not. However, if he finds a stone with a cross marked into it, he's fucking jizzing over that. But yeah, get on Viber, peeps. It's all about Viber. Viber's great, and as Ethan always likes to indicate, you don't actually have to be logged into anything for Viber to ring or get a message.
You can literally call
instant.
someone like a phone call. I don't know how people
And
ever
it's free
use
international calls as well.
I don't understand how people use Skype because you have to check that they're online to call them. It makes no sense.
Because we're plugging Viber in this episode, we should tag Viber, the people on Twitter or something, and be like, yeah, we're great, sponsor us.
I'm just taking my trousers off.
What? Why?
Because they're uncomfortable. Okay, right. It's episode 42.
Most of the time, Ethan does actually do these podcasts in his pants.
I disagree.
It's really funny, actually. When I was listening to the bonus episode that you put up a couple of days ago, where it's you and Alexandra Bell.
Don't use full names.
Really?
Yes.
Well, she introduces herself at the beginning of the podcast.
Let her dig her own grave. She's litigious as fuck, so we don't ever want anyone to find out. We snuck in a test episode from 3 years ago.
She mentions the fact that you're touching your balls as you're talking to her.
Larry Bird does less ball handling in one basketball game than you do.
But yeah, no, it's great. I'm so pleased that you put that up. I enjoyed listening to that greatly.
Well, anyway, it's episode 42, basically. We're going from minutes 82 to 84. And according to my notes, which are completely wrong, it starts with the bathroom fight. That's incorrect. It starts with the Flying HK careening over Kate Brewster and John Connor's heads.
Ooh.
And it turns around to make another attack run, and Kate Brewster actually steps up to the plate, and I think even shocks herself with the fact she picks up a machine gun, I think it's an AK-47, and shoots the thing down. I don't know how you'd shoot down some killer drone.
That's one of my qualms, so don't you dare.
Well, qualm away, Ellie.
As if you could shoot down an HK with that gun.
No, I agree. It's
just ridiculous, and the small amount of bullets that she actually fires as well. I swear to God, that HK, when they were looking at it, when we first saw it about half an hour ago in the film, when we first see her Faja,
yeah,
and we see this thing, and that's when I first saw that robot as well. The HK looked so much bigger, and now it's tiny. It's like one of those fucking helicopters you can buy from Toys R Us or something.
Well, it looks to be about 10 feet across, doesn't it? But why it doesn't start shooting at them before
That's another qualm. As if the HK wouldn't. The HK doesn't actually fire anything at all. All it does is just fly.
Well, no, it fires at them and they duck under the rockets. It flies over their heads without shooting with its machine guns, goes to the end of the corridor, then looks at them, then turns around and then starts coming towards them. Doesn't even start firing then. It would have like taken them out by that point, I would assume. So yeah.
You would think. But
Yeah.
apparently not.
As a side note, by the way, when they're looking out through that kind of like viewing gallery, the thing they're looking at is that like Hadron Collider ring, isn't it? I thought it was some kind of monorail tube, which is what we thought in the lab.
Well, this is what I thought. What is that thing?
It's like it's the Hadron Collider. It's like the thing in Switzerland, isn't it? It like shoots particles at like super fast speeds in order to kind of like detect the Higgs boson particle, the God particle and stuff, doesn't it? It messes with the very fabric of reality.
Okay, so the other qualm I had with this particular scene was, so they destroy the HK. That's all cool. Where all the other Terminators are, I don't know. I would have thought that they would have been like a prime target. So I reckon, so she's activated all these T1s, all these first kind of troubleshoot Terminators, obviously to start wreaking havoc. But I would have thought there'd have been one or two that she would have kind of selected to actually focus on killing them, so it would have made her job a lot easier, and then she could have focused on other things. She needs to delegate, basically. She's obviously never worked in an office.
The thing is, they've already come from... No, well, she went into that storage facility with all the HKs in. Maybe she only activated one or two of them, because they only encountered about 3 or 4 in the actual thing, and now they're on a different level.
I know, but I raised that point, but then when you see the utter destruction of what's happened to the outside in that short space of time, we then decided there must have been more then, or she must have kind of activated more than just a couple, because it looks like bloody Armageddon outside.
Armageddon out of here.
Way!
Yeah, no, I don't know.
Yeah. Ridiculous. But yeah, you'd have thought that she would have selected at least a couple to have kind of taken John and Kate Brewster out.
Oh, I
because
agree.
Then she would have been able to have focused on, you know, making Skynet adapt quicker or whatever it is that silly woman's doing. But yeah, so a couple of qualms, 2 qualms actually, following on from this. So they go into that kind of main control room, don't they? And John, who's never been there before, would never have had his hands on any of that equipment, just goes and goes, oh, if I push this button here, that button here, and this big button, and then I push this this kind of rod up, then that'll start everything.
Ooh.
How the Jeff would he know how to work all of that machinery to fire this bad boy? My name is Jeff. What happened to that? That disappeared very quickly.
You've never seen the film, have you?
No.
Yeah, we're quoting 22 Jump Street, the sequel to the amazing 21 Jump Street.
I'm not into Channing Tatum at all.
I'm not.
I don't find him attractive in any way, shape, or form.
Well, you shouldn't base the liking of someone if they're hot or not.
I'm sorry. Am I speaking to Ethan?
Well, I think as a dramatic actor, I guess he's not the best, but as a comedian, he's genius. Every funny film he's in, he's great. He's the best thing in it.
Really?
Yeah.
All I've ever seen him do is that and the piss take song that he did with Jamie Foxx, and that was hilarious. But a friend of mine sat me down. She's like, "You've got to see Magic Mike. You've got to." I got about half an hour into that film, and I was like, I don't want to watch this anymore. She's like, no, you've got to see the stripping scene, and oh my god, it's the gayest thing. And I love gay stuff, but not when it's like straight men trying to be sexy. I find that so unsexy. It's ridiculous.
Well, it's kind of that middle of the road kind of things that you're told to find sexy and attractive if you're kind of like the 50 Shades of Grey type woman.
Watching a man pretending to fuck the floor, it just looks ridiculous. It looks desperate and sad and quite pathetic, if I'm being completely honest with you. But then again, that whole thing of going and seeing male strippers, I never got that either. I remember when it was one of our mates' birthdays when I was at college. She was turning 18, and we decided to order a stripper to come to her house. So we got the go-ahead from her mum, and we got this stripper to come round. And just the whole thing, as I was sat there, I was like, this is actually just a bit lame and a bit sad. Like, I kind of feel sorry for this geezer. It's like sat in this room, just being like, oh god, here we go. And like, one of the parts of his act was he got out a fruit corner, one of the crunch corner ones with like the chocolate balls, and I was just like,
Crunch corner.
you couldn't even get like a gourmet yogurt. You've gone for fucking crunch corner. Jesus Christ. Stripping's hard these days, dude.
Oh, I've got some falafel stuck in my belly button. Dig it out, would you? I was going to say granola. I'm glad I got it wrong, though. Falafel was funnier.
Falafel was good. Plus the way you said belly button.
Belly button.
My belly button. Your belly. Actually, a couple of friends of mine that I used to know, they came from Stoke and they couldn't pronounce Ellie, so they go, Ali, Ali. I was like, my name isn't Ali, it's Ellie. Ali.
Anyway, back to the clip, everyone. We've discovered we've got a slight problem with the movie. As you may have noticed, last time we did a show 2 weeks ago, Eleanor, I posted the clip.
I've been moving, thank you very much.
I posted the clip, and like people were like, yeah, that's such a good idea. You should do it this way all the time. I've separated this film, or the rest of it, into these 2-minute segments in the edit software. We've discovered tonight, as none of us would have, because the last one we put, it was the bathroom fight, so it's just all sound effects. So it doesn't really matter. As we've discovered in this kind of like, well, there's a bit of dialogue in it. For some reason, in rendering the clips, it's deleted any dialogue. It's just got sound effects and music.
Do you know what we could do? We could just dub in our own kind of
bad lip reading
wording.
versions.
Yeah, but we could just turn it into whatever we want. that could be really fun.
We could.
It's like what they've done with Star Wars, where they've dubbed it over with quotes from Snatch and things like that. Now go make me a fucking cup of tea. It's quite good, that. I enjoyed that. But anyway, yeah, so how the Jeff would John Connor know how to operate this machine?
I don't know. I think he's just like pressing buttons randomly.
Yeah, but it seems to fire up pretty successfully. Everything's running proper.
Fire up the briar.
Yes, he can.
Well, all right. I've got some trivia, but it's not great, so bear with me. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Ethan's shit trivia.
Too late to change up the system now, Ellie. We're like 4 episodes from the end, I think. Oh, by the way, everyone, Ellie, can I ask you on while we're on air? Can you give me your password for Facebook?
No.
Not to do anything naughty, I posted a picture of a giant dick on someone's wall last week, viewers, and I've been banned from Facebook for 30 days. So I've not been able to access Don't Cross the Memes, any of my fan pages, any of the show pages. I can't even post the podcast I've been doing.
Oh, God. Good times.
Yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger, he had...
Password.
Arnold tore his rotator cuff following an injury on set, basically. So he had to have surgery. He was in a sling for 3 to 4 weeks, but it didn't delay the completion of the movie.
Movie. Where is the TerMInator? Where is Arnie at this point? What's he doing?
What do you mean?
Where's Arnold at this point in the film?
He just had his head kicked off by the TX.
Oh yeah, I remember now.
Yeah.
It was a genuine question. I was like, what happened to Arnie? Where's he gone? Yeah, so that was my kind of first qualm with the. Well, I always have qualms with this, but the next one I wanted to mention is the fact that when they get into this weird kind of shuttle tube, subway, monorail thing. They're running along, and the TX, she comes in and she finds them, and she's like, shit.
Yeah, she's
running after
toasting the
them.
backs of their necks.
There is no way in hell that they would be able to outrun her. No way. That's horseshit. She was catching up to a fucking speeding car earlier, and now she can't catch these two plebs. Bullshit.
Yeah, but it's kind of like, well, I guess the story demands that she runs slower in this instance.
Apparently so.
Apparently.
If they'd sent Robert back, he'd have been on him post haste.
You think? Who do you think would win in a race between?
Robert Patrick by far.
I don't know. That's one thing I did question about the T1000. How can he actually run in a sense? Because
maybe they should have had black Terminators because black people run faster because they've got more fast twitch muscle fibers.
Yeah.
Didn't think of that, did they?
I don't know. I just think a mechanical thing probably would be able to run faster than a liquid thing. Yeah. I do.
Oh, you think? If she's this awesome liquid Terminator, she should just turn into a fucking motorbike and just ride after him.
A motorbike.
Or her feet should turn into wheels.
And they'd flip.
Yeah. Just flipped it on its wheels and just drove away.
Drove away.
But yeah, they're the qualms that I have with this particular episode. Are there no cock-ups?
No. Well, apart from the sound on this clip, but no, that's about it, really.
Cock up.
Bing.
There is no sound.
There is no spoon.
You are a spoon. My spoon. Have you seen that? My spoon is too big. I'll have to send you that. It's brilliant. It's really funny.
My spoon is too big.
But that's all I have on this 2 minutes, Ethan.
Oh, Ellie. Oh, say it isn't so.
Say it ain't so. Although you can fill some air by advising the listeners to go to your questionable page because you've done 2 podcasts since we last did a Terminator, haven't you?
I have.
What have you done?
Well, last week was a Jewish comic who's from Israel called Tal Mordechai.
And how do you know this chap?
Just heard about him on the Joe Rogan show, and he called in. We did a really lovely podcast. It was really funny, but the sound sadly sucks because I'm still trying to work out this Skype problem. I do think it's actually a problem with Skype because we're talking now over the internet, and you're clear as a bell.
Oh yeah.
The only good Skype I've had, I think, is Graham Hancock
Graham Hancock.
and Andreas Antonopoulos, and I think they're set up to do a lot of Skype interviews, so they've got like a big fat business strong connection probably plugged in as well. So Andreas was great quality, and so was Graham Hancock. Yesterday was Jamie Bullock. He was a famous actor. Obviously he was a British character actor, but sadly or happily for him, I don't know, he's more famous for a role that was the smallest part he'd ever played, so much so not even his own voice was used, and you didn't even see his face. He was under the helmet of Boba Fett. He played Boba Fett in The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. The voice of Boba Fett was an actor called Jason Wingreen, who actually died last month, aged 95.
Why would they use a different voice to the chap that's playing the character?
I mean, films do a lot of that anyway. I guess they want to look for a character. He basically got the job because his half-brother...
basically, his head was big enough to fit in the hat that they'd made.
He basically went in for a fitting and he fit the costume.
Oh my god, I was right.
Now, the voice obviously would have to be put in later and with ADR because he's under a helmet, so you couldn't hear it anyway.
Yeah.
So an actor called Jason Wingreen did the voice. He was like this very like an American character actor who's been in tons of like TV and films, but he's got this really like good voice. And he died last month, aged 95. The only problem with that, of course, is Ellie, when they did the Star Wars prequels, which we're going to get to and watch, they actually George Lucas, who constantly I'm not doing that. George Lucas, who constantly tinkers with the films, took out Jason Wingreen's voice and replaced it with Tamura Morrison, the New Zealand actor who played Jango Fett, Boba Fett's father in the prequels. It sounds as ludicrous as it is as well, by the way.
Jesus Christ.
So now Boba Fett has this like weird Antipodian, New Zealand / Australian accent. And it just sounds really weird. It doesn't sound right. Jason Wingreen had this like really rich kind of like evil sounding voice, really cool, and they kind of ruined it with that. But he voiced Boba Fett, or Boba Fett. Boba Fett. But yeah, no, he came on, he talked about all the things he'd been in. He's been in Omen 3, The Final Conflict. He's been in 3 Roger Moore Bond films as Smithers. Where do we begin? He's done a ton of like TV. He's done loads of classic TV shows. He was in A Night to Remember, the Titanic film. So he's been in like tons and tons of stuff. So he talked about his life outside of that. As much as I wanted to hear about Boba Fett, I did ask the question, this must be excruciating. that you have to keep this fresh every time a fan asks you the same question over and over again. So I wanted to know more about his career.
His other work.
Yeah. Because, I mean,
I'm sure he really appreciated that.
I know enough stuff about him and Boba Fett from looking at making-ofs and clips on YouTube and stuff, and it's...
So you kind of answered those questions yourself.
Yeah, and it's kind of... Well, we did like a 45-minute interview. I did like 15 or 20 minutes on Boba Fett, so I think that was enough.
Okay.
That's enough, Bullock. Shut up.
Now put your fucking hat on.
Do the voice. Oh, it's not my voice. Aww.
It's not my... Aww.
Just stop the show. Click. But no, he was cool. So we had a really good podcast. I do recommend, if you are listening to this, if you go to the YouTube channel, I've sweat bullets and spliced in lovely HD clips of most of the things he's been involved with, right from the 1950s up until now, basically. Including...
What was the last thing he did?
I think an episode of Doctors.
Oh.
And weirdly, I didn't ask him this, but like his fan mail address is his actual house.
Whoa.
And it's listed on...
That's dangerous, no?
Oh, yeah. No, it's listed online. And I was like, I'm kicking myself now. I forgot to ask this question. It's like, have you never got any weirdos turn up at your house?
I forgot that question.
He lives by George's. He's like half a mile away from George in Tooting.
Holy shitballs. You should go see him.
Well, I thought, as he's like a 70-year-old man, maybe...
Take him round some shortbread. All old boys like shortbread.
To cut in the
Or
favour
maybe
of the
that's just
small
what
child.
I was told when I was young.
Yeah. No,
shortbread.
I think... I don't know. I initially went after that last summer. I was like, I can come over and bring all this equipment. I just thought it's very disruptive, and it'll cost me money, which is the main reason. But also it's quite invasive, and I think if the person doesn't know you, I think if I did another one, he'd probably happily have me over. But the next person to go for, the reason he actually got the part in Star Wars, is Robert Watts, who's I think 79 now, but like he's produced a film about like ancient Egypt with the Graham Hancock, so there's that connection there. He's talked about 9/11 and the Illuminati, so I think he's kind of got this like conspiracy side to him as well. And also, if you watch him in any like making-ofs, if you've got the Indiana Jones box set on Blu-ray or the old DVD from the mid-90s, he kind of like, I don't know, he pulls no punches. He kind of calls a spade, and he's like, yeah.
Oh, he sounds amazing. Or he'd probably call it a big tool.
He complains about George Lucas and stuff and the production and the Sri Lankan government. So he kind of like, he doesn't kind of like gloss out. He's not very kind of like PR in that sense. He just says it like it is, and I think I like that, and I think it'd be an interesting person to talk to.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So, yeah, Jeremy Bullock's half-brother is the next person to go for. But that's the reason Jeremy got the part. He was doing a play in the West End, and he said there's 2 days on this film I'm producing, and which was obviously Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
So that's it. He went in, got fitted for the costume, and then he did 2 days' work. Walked around with a bucket on his head, and then,
my least favourite film of all time.
Yeah, and now like he's bound for the rest of his life for the last 35 years, going around conventions, going do the voice and wear the helmet, and
that would suck, man.
I did ask that, and he said, well, not really, because I'm going to Moscow next month for a week, then I'm going to Brazil for a week. So he says, I basically go on holiday every month, and then I just spend 2 days talking about Boba Fett. It's fucking great.
Oh, well, if he's happy, then that's all that matters.
And yeah, he said you do get asked the same question every time, but he said you have to bear in mind, you know, some of these people travel hundreds of miles to get to there to meet you, and they pay money to see you, and something you've been involved with, even if it's a small part, has meant a huge amount to their lives. So you have to be thankful for those things and not ever kind of like go, ugh. So... there we go. Jamie Bullock is humbled.
Did you enjoy that? You got really animated and really like...
No, don't...
Did this happen?
And then, yeah, he does, and he likes it okay, so just leave him alone. Leave Jeremy alone. He's a human.
Oh, dear.
News.
But yes, I think we can probably round it up. Round about there. We can stop plugging Questionable now. This is TerMINator.
Well, anyone listening, if you do go to the Questionable, if you are listening this far, thank you. go to the questionable page and go to my YouTube channel. Watch the Jeremy Bullock version on the YouTube show on the YouTube channel because it's more informative and interesting. There's stuff popping up.
Ethan, have you hung your pictures that John gave you yet?
I haven't. Have you?
Well, no. I don't even have them with me. They're in storage at the moment because I've had to move. That's why there's been no show. I had a last minute pretty much eviction from my house.
I do have them, John. They're actually on my desk as we speak. They're next to a pile of motorcycle parts, which are now
They're next to a pile of lies, John, because Ethan's never going to put them up because he hates them. Although I think it's very kind of you to actually give Ethan cheekbones in his depiction.
Well, that's why they're going on the wall. Let's see. See, Mum, if you fucked a better looking guy, I'd have had cheekbones.
You probably would have, because you get your looks from your mum.
I know.
You don't look anything like your dad, apart from when you're asleep.
Dustin Hoffman.
The mouth just drops and the feet are stuck out the end of the bed.
The death mask.
Yeah. Exactly that.
November Death Mask is the name of this show. Anyway, that's 25 minutes. Thank you all for listening, everyone. We will be back tomorrow with another episode. I'm going to try and squeeze a couple out with Ellie. I'm going to try and get 5 out before this Sunday, if that's at all possible. Maybe we'll even go for 7. I have to remind Ellie, we are, I think, 13 episodes from finishing this show, so we are in the home stretch.
Oh, 13.
And then, as Ellie's been dragging her feet on this thing, we're going to see if we can get Terminator Salvation and Genesis out of her for the show that no one cares about.
Out of her. Get it out of her.
So yeah, thank you all for listening, everyone.
Thank you so much for tuning in.
Support the show, like the YouTube channel, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the Facebook page, follow us on Twitter.
Like it, share it, eat it.
Go to my other show, questionable.com. Please support the Jeremy Bullock Show on YouTube. Please play. Press play. Just watch the show, play it on Soundcloud, get the numbers up. Leave a review on iTunes, please. Anyone listening, John Nichols, you can work this out. And if you can't, keep trying. Spaldner, keep trying. Josh, please, Josh, go on your iTunes, open the show in YouTube and press play and get the numbers up and then leave a review. If you all leave a review, it pushes up in the podcast league tables. Come on, do it. Be original. Say yes, everyone else says no.
Anyway. Hasta la vista.
Go to see Questionable with Jeremy Bullock, Boba Fett unmasked. Baby.
Machines. They're unstoppable. Watch out for machines.